My name is Arn Franz, and I'm a project manager with the Department of Public Space and Urban Forestry. I work with Louisa Oliveira and our director, Tom Galligani. Louisa's here, Tom is here somewhere. There's Tom in the back. And today's date is November 30th, and I wanted to welcome all of you here to this ribbon cutting and celebration for the new Healey Schoolyard. I'll introduce our mayor, the Honorable Tatiana Ballantyne, and other Healey school supporters and advocates in just a minute. But first, I just want to take a minute again to thank all of you for joining us. I recognize faces here, people from the Healey School, in the school department, the city. I don't see anybody here from Somerville Housing Authority, but I want to emphasize that they were a partner in this project. And we'll do a more thorough acknowledgement later, but I really wanted to recognize our great design and construction team for this project. And I'm honored to be here with all of you on this occasion. Through your efforts, all of you and many others, this project was conceived, advocated for, funded, designed, and built, or largely built, because while we're here to celebrate the opening of the new schoolyard as the next phase of this project, we'll look for you again to join us for another celebration in the spring when we have the ribbon cutting for the new U12 field, the renovated parking lot, and the ADA pathway connecting us to Mystic Housing. So, I don't want to eat up too much time. So while I could talk about this project all day, and I'd be happy to answer anybody's questions afterwards, I think we'll give others a chance to say a few words. Therefore, let me introduce our mayor, the Honorable Tatiana Ballantyne, and then we can share the microphone with some other key Healey School advocates and supporters. Thank you.
It's so nice to see everybody. For those of you who don't know, as 20 years ago this season, my older daughter, who's now 26, was a kindergartner here and was here until the 6th grade. So it's always wonderful to be back here and seeing all the great work that's been done. I would say that during my time here as a parent volunteer, we tried to incorporate the Friends of the Healey. It took us about 3 years to get people to rally around the idea that parents could, also contribute and share their voice. So it's nice to see that it's still going strong about, about 16 years later. And I'm thank you for coming, especially the youth. On this starting to be chilly morning to celebrate this transformation and opening of the really awesome Healey Schoolyard. It includes 2 simple but striking lines I'd like to share. They read, "Until the turn of the 20th century, playgrounds remained uncommon in public spaces. But as industrialization and urbanization grew, so did the concern for public welfare. With that concern, the commitment to playgrounds and enriching schoolyards took off. Today, they are expected and taken for granted. But concern for public welfare is still needed to drive the advocacy and the public investment that we ensure our kids have the highest quality outdoor space to grow, learn, or simply just jump around in the sun. Luckily, we have that concern of public welfare in volumes here in Somerville, and especially when it came to this project. We wouldn't be standing here celebrating this thoughtfully redesigned new space without advocacy, imagination, and follow through by so many. And I'm going to go through and list the various groups who have been a part of this, because it shows you, how many people it takes to advocate and really push forward for these infrastructure projects. So special thanks are owed to the Friends of the Healey School PTA, and the greater Healey Mystic community for always keeping our kids front and center and advocating for their needs. This started with your vision and your voice and has driven by your advocacy. Really well done. Thank you for doing that. Of course, this project needed a vital ally, and that is the Ward 4 City Councilor Jesse Klingon. Thank you, Councilor Klingon, for championing the Healey plan from the start to the finish. I remember well the strong case you made to the City Council for the full Healey plan back in January of 2020, when the full council voted unanimously to fund it with a $6 million bond. Thank you also as well to Councilor at Large Jake Wilson, who rallied fellow parents and community to support this project, both before he ran for office, and whose supports has remained just as passionate and steady as one of our councilors at large. Thank you. And of course, thank is owed to the full City Council for approving the $6 million bond, to my predecessor, Joe Curtatone, for believing in the plan and for, with conviction, putting that $6 million ask before the council to make it happen. I also want to recognize Councilor at Large Kristen Strezzo, School Committee Chair Andre Green, former Ward School Committee person Terry Norman, School Committee member from Ward 5, Laura Patone, Eleanor Barish, School Committee member, Ward 6. Am I missing anybody? Emily, sorry, you're hiding back there. Emily Ackman, School Committee member from Ward 6. So thank you all. I'm sorry, Roberta, you're right in front of me. Yes, former Ward 3 School Committee member, Roberta Bauer. I do want to also highlight School Committee Chair and Ward 4 School Committee member Andre Green, who likewise advocated early and long for the Healey plan and for the kids in his ward and the full city. The support of the full school committee, the school department, including Superintendent Jeff Curley, former Superintendent Mary Skipper, Principal Mary Ellen Cobbs, as well as all the Healey teachers and students, has also been critical. Thank you to the Community Preservation Committee for funding the master plan and design, in so doing getting this project off the ground. You're on the Preservation Committee. Thank you, Mr. Bowers. I can't say enough about the hardworking, creative, and talented public space and urban forestry team under the leadership of Louisa Oliveira and project management of Arne Franzen. This team ran an intensive community process and ensured at every step of the way that community voices were heard, community priorities were realized with leading edge and top quality approaches. And I'm wondering if all the people from Peace Off could raise their hand who are in the audience, because thank you. And last but not least, thanks as well to the people who took this plan, built it, Warren Larson Landscape Architects, our general contractor, Classic Site Solutions, as well as our geotechnical environmental planners, McPhail Associates. To sum it up, you did it, and thank you so much for that. Pass on, Arne.
Jesse?
Yeah.
Ward 4 City Councilor Jesse Klingon.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm glad that Madam Mayor did all the thank yous, because there really are so many thank yous to go around.
Is that broken?
It is, yeah. That it would, I take up all my time giving thank yous. And thank you to the mayor for this. This is a really exciting day. Again, so many people have been part of this. I get to be here for the finish line, and I do take a lot of pride in that. You know, when in 2021, after COVID had happened, and we weren't sure what was going to happen with this project. So the parents once again rallied, and including Councilor Wilson, who was then with the Friends of the Healey, and we together put this back on the front burner of city business. And then Mayor Curtatone heeded the call, and I texted him earlier and said, "Are you going to be able to come to this ribbon cutting, or are you going to be off with the Royals?" You know, of course he's got other business with the royal family. So, but he was also a big part of this. But I would not, we wouldn't be here with all the support of my fellow councilors, including Councilor Ballantyne, who was also one of those votes for the funding for this. But that said, one of the really exciting things, I don't know if anybody has ever seen the documentary The Staircase. It was when the Elizabeth Peabody House and the residents of the Mystics band together, and they fought after somebody had died falling down the side of the shale. It was essentially shale, or like just old slate side of the hill, and died. They fought, and they were able to successfully get that staircase that you see over there. And that was actually a big win at the time, but clearly not far enough. So the most exciting thing for me is that we now have an ADA accessible ramp connecting the neighborhoods down below to this neighborhood, finally once and for all, which is a huge and the other piece of this is that I went up to the top of this. You know, I grew up in Somerville. I was born and raised here. Probably went to Boston as a kid, maybe 2-3 times. It might as well have been 100 miles away, because it's just, some parents just weren't, it can be challenging. So I love the fact that the children will be able to stand up, get up on that tower there and see Boston, and see just how close they are to the capital of this state, and to all the goings on, and the assembly and everything that's happening, and realize that they're connected to the larger community much more than they think they are, just being down on the streets. So I think that was like a really big piece of this that I'm thankful for. And then the last thing to add to the thank yous of the mayor, I just want to thank the residents of this area for dealing with all of this, the parents who have had to deal with the parking situation, the drop-offs. I hear your pain, I feel it. We've been through this for 2 years now, and here we are, and hopefully we're almost completely done, so that we can get back to business as usual, but not quite as usual, with a much more equitable, child-friendly playground for the kids to play on. So thank you all for that. And with that, I'm going to bring up current at-large councilor, resident of Ward 4, former Friends of Healey and soccer advocate and everything else, Jake Wilson. Come on up. You're going to have to yell.
We're going to try this and see if it works better. Everyone, thank you for coming out today. This is a big deal today. Everyone who's been involved with this knows why it's such a big deal. I want to add my voice of thanks to what the mayor and Councilor Klingon mentioned in terms of people who had a role in making this happen. Councilor Klingon was a huge advocate for this, and I can't thank him enough. Chair Green was an equally huge advocate for this project. And then former Mayor Curtatone, obviously this wouldn't have happened without his support for the project too. I want to add a couple people to that, or a couple groups. I want to thank Andrew Arbaugh, my former partner in crime with Friends of Healey. It was Andrew who came to me one day back a number of summers back. At that point, the project was basically, it had lost steam. And Andrew said, let's get this going again. And he and I conspired to do just that. We got the parents at this school mobilized. It was honestly, it's a good lesson in what community organizing can do and what activism can do. We turned out parents. Apologies to the people on that city council at the time that had to listen to parents showing up at finance committee meetings and yelling about this. There was actually yelling that happened. It means a lot. Our voices were heard. This stands here today because of people listening to the community's voices and because of the advocacy that happened, and it means a lot. I want to credit Andre Green with pointing out, we think of the city oftentimes in terms of an east-west divide. There's also a north-south divide in this city, and this is, I'm going to get emotional talking about this. This is an area of the city that doesn't get a lot of love. This school has been through some tough times. The Mystics have it tough. This matters. This sends a message to this school, to these kids. My kids go here. I told you I was going to get emotional. This really matters. And I can't thank everyone enough for making this happen. That soccer field is going to matter. Thank you. I've said enough. Chair Green.
I'm going to introduce Andre Green, but I just want to say one thing really quickly. We have a lot of talk about equity in terms of the pollution and the sound barriers, and there's talk about whether or not sound barriers are the best way to go down below because of whether or not it creates a tunnel effect for down below. But this is the perfect example of why sound barriers make sense along Mystic Avenue, because you can barely hear me over the traffic that's running along Mystic Avenue. So with that, I want to bring up this neighborhood's champion, this school's champion, and the chair of our school committee, Andre Green. You don't have to yell, dude.
Yeah, I know.
You can barely hear.
All right, so I'm going to make this super quick because playgrounds are at kids, and I want kids to start playing. I also want to thank them for 2 years of patience as they were forced to play in the parking lots and the driveways to get this done. This is first and foremost for you and for the kids to come. And just to put this in context, how long this has been, my first meeting on this, which is not the first meeting on this, my daughter, who's here now, was also there on my back in a harness. So this is a long time coming. They deserve it. Let's get to it. Before we can get to it, I get to introduce the interim superintendent of schools, Dr. Jeff Curley.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the chance to be here today with all of you. Arn and Louisa, I want to thank you for the incredible work here in getting this project over the line. It is an amazing space. Mayor Ballantyne, thank you for always continuing to advocate for our schools and our kids and our families. I have a third grader. I know he is going to be super excited to be out here running around like you guys are going to be soon. These kind of investments signal our values. They signal the spaces that we believe that our kids and families need to have access to and enjoy. And so I'm excited for you all to be able to get out here and play. I don't want to echo too much of what has been said, but the partnership with the CPA, with Somerville Housing Authority, with our Mystic residents, all of these groups have come together to help make this happen. And it would not have been possible without all of their support. I also want to say that as a parent and an administrator, I'm proud to live in a community that values these spaces, that values open public spaces that our kids can enjoy in school, that our residents can enjoy after school and over the summer. I want to give a huge shout out to Principal Cobbs, to Assistant Principal Larte, to our Healey educators, to our Healey families and our kids who have kept this school soaring despite the construction impacts and despite the delays. And I know you all are super excited. So I will turn it over. It is my pleasure to introduce our last speaker, the amazing principal here, Dr. Mary Ellen Cobbs. Thank you so much.
Roberta, would you like to say a few words for the CPA and then Dr. Cobbs will speak? Because she's going to release the fund.
Let me talk after you.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak. I'm Roberta Cameron, the Community Preservation Act manager. People have been talking about CPA. CPA, Community Preservation Act, is a program that funds projects like this across the city. And I'm thrilled every day to be able to support this program that makes things like this possible. But what makes the Community Preservation Act possible is the volunteer boards and committees across the city, including the Community Preservation Act Committee and other boards and committees that support us. And so to the existing board members and community advocates that brought us this program, and to the kids who are our future city leaders, thank you so much for the work that you do, and keep doing it. Thank you.
Everybody, I'm sorry this microphone isn't working that well. Dr. Cobbs will be talking in just a second, but I want to take an opportunity before we let the kids loose to really send thanks, and I'd like to ask for a warm round of applause for our team. Our team consists of the team that designed and built this space. It's Warner Larson Landscape Architects, led by David Warner, and our team captain, project manager, Emily Hunt. And I've got to say, we have had the best contractor that I've worked with in many years on this project, and I'd like to have a warm round of applause for the design team and our contractors at Classic Site Solutions. So here's to them. All right, Dr. Cobbs.
Guess who doesn't need a microphone? Good morning. I'm the keeper of the ribbon right now, so I want to keep it short and sweet. To the council and the mayor, both past terms and present, thank you very much. Thank you to our families, the Healey families. Thank you for my 8th graders who are having the right of first passage once they get the okay. They've waited a long, long time. But I do want to just say 2 things. I am the voice of this school, and I have a big one. And it is critical to me that divide that Mr. Wilson referred to is well understood. We are not just the school on the river. We are the best school in the district, and we will continue to be the best school in the district. So thank you for being my voice. Thank you for being our voice. I am pleased and proud of this project. I am pleased to be part of the Somerville family. No, I didn't grow up here, as so many of you did. So thank you. It's a true gift and a true blessing. The crew that is on site every day really has become part of our family. And like families, we bicker. But overall, generally pleased, proud, and thank you for always putting our safety and care first and for providing this. So in terms of following directions, we need to first take a couple of pictures, okay? So 8th grade, you stay right there. And then if anybody's I don't know who's doing what. So I will leave that to people who make larger decisions than I do. Thank you, we are very grateful.